Welcome back to Ingrid and Chris. Tonight we have another magical adventure to help you unwind and drift off into peaceful dreams. Make sure to like and subscribe for more enchanting bedtime stories, perfect for your little one's bedtime routine. Now let's begin our story. Avery loved exploring her grandmother's garden during the day. The garden was filled with blooming flowers, tall trees, and secret pathways lined with hedges. But the real mystery lay in what happened to the garden after dark. For years, her grandmother had told her stories about the midnight garden, a magical version of the garden that appeared only at the stroke of midnight. Its flowers would glow, the trees would sing, and hidden creatures would come out to play. But Avery had never seen it for herself. One summer evening, while staying at her grandmother's house, Avery made a plan. She would stay up until midnight and see the magical garden with her own eyes. As the clock in the living room softly ticked closer to 12, she wrapped herself in her favorite blanket and tiptoed out to the garden, determined to discover its secrets. At first, everything seemed the same. The moonlight bathed the garden in a soft, silvery glow, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves. But as soon as the clock struck midnight, Avery felt a change in the air. The ground beneath her feet sparkled with tiny specks of light, and the flowers began to glow in shades of pink, blue, and gold. It was happening. The midnight garden was real. Avery's eyes widened in wonder as she watched the garden come to life. The trees around her swayed gently as if they were dancing, and a soft, melodic hum filled the air. She could see tiny fireflies darting through the bushes, their lights flickering like little stars. Avery wandered deeper into the garden, following the winding paths as they twisted and turned, each one leading her to a new discovery. As she passed by a large oak tree, she noticed something unusual. A small door was carved into the base of the tree, and it shimmered with golden light. Avery knelt down, her heart pounding with excitement. She had never seen this door before, and it looked like something straight out of a fairy tale. Without hesitation, Avery gently pushed the door open, and to her amazement, it revealed a tiny staircase leading down into the earth. She hesitated for only a moment before deciding to see where the stairs would take her. Carefully, she descended the staircase, feeling the cool air wrap around her as she went deeper underground. When she reached the bottom, she found herself in a breathtaking underground world. Glowing mushrooms lined the walls, casting a soft blue light over everything. In the center of the room was a beautiful pond, its water sparkling like diamonds in the moonlight. The air was filled with the sweet scent of flowers, and tiny magical creatures flitted about. Some looked like miniature butterflies with glittering wings, while others resembled tiny glowing birds. "Welcome, Avery," a gentle voice said, breaking the silence. Avery turned around to see a figure standing by the edge of the pond. It was a woman, but unlike anyone Avery had ever seen before. Her skin shimmered like moonlight, and her hair flowed like a river of stars. She wore a gown made of flower petals, and her eyes sparkled with kindness. "Who are you?" Avery asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "I am the guardian of the midnight garden," the woman replied with a warm smile. "I have been watching over this garden for many, many years, but you are the first to discover its true magic." Avery's heart raced with excitement. "Why me?" she asked. "Because you have a curious heart and a brave spirit," the guardian said. "The midnight garden has chosen you to protect its magic. But there is a challenge you must face. Avery's curiosity deepened. What kind of challenge? The guardian gestured towards the pond. At the center of this pond lies the heart of the garden, a glowing gem that keeps the garden alive. But the gem is in danger. A shadow has crept into the garden, and if it reaches the heart, the magic will fade, and the garden will be lost forever. Avery's determination grew. I'll stop the shadow. What do I need to do? The guardian handed her a small golden key. This key will unlock the gate to the shadow's lair. You must find the lair and defeat the shadow before it reaches the heart of the garden. But beware, the shadow is cunning and it will try to trick you. With the key in hand, Avery set off on her mission. She followed the glowing path that led her deeper into the garden, where the light began to dim and the air grew colder. Soon she reached a tall wrought iron gate covered in twisting vines. She used the golden key to unlock the gate, and it creaked open slowly, revealing a dark, misty path ahead. As she ventured forward, Avery could feel the presence of the shadow lurking nearby. The air felt heavy, and strange whispers echoed around her. But she stayed focused, remembering the guardian's warning. She knew she had to be careful. The shadow would try to deceive her. After what felt like an eternity, Avery reached the shadow's lair. It was a dark, swirling mist that seemed to pulse with dark energy. The shadow was waiting for her, its form shifting and changing, as if it couldn't decide what shape to take. "You cannot stop me!" the shadow hissed, its voice cold and sharp. "I will take the heart of the garden, and the magic will be mine." Avery stood her ground. "I won't let you," she said firmly. "The garden belongs to the light, not to you." The shadow laughed, a cold, eerie sound. "You are just a child. What can you possibly do?" But Avery didn't back down. She remembered the kindness of the guardian and the beauty of the midnight garden. Summoning all her courage, she held out her hand and said, "This garden is protected by love and light. You don't belong here." As she spoke, a beam of light shot from her hand, piercing through the shadow. The dark mist swirled and twisted, trying to fight back, but Avery's light was too strong. The shadow let out a final, angry scream before it disappeared, vanishing into the night. The garden around her began to glow brighter, and the air felt warm and peaceful once again. Avery smiled, knowing she had saved the magic of the midnight garden. When she returned to the underground pond, the guardian was waiting for her. "You did it, Avery," she said with a proud smile. "The garden is safe thanks to you." Avery beamed with pride. "Will the shadow ever come back?" she asked. The guardian shook her head. "Not as long as you remember the magic of the garden and protect it with your heart." With the guardian's words in her heart, Avery returned to the surface, where the garden still glowed under the soft light of the moon. She knew she would never forget this magical adventure, and every time the clock struck midnight, she would be ready to protect the midnight garden once more. Thank you for joining us on this magical journey with Avery and the Midnight Garden. We hope you're feeling calm and ready for bed. Be sure to like and subscribe to Ingrid and Chris for more bedtime stories that fill your dreams with wonder, sweet dreams, and good night. And